In Singapore's biggest political corruption trial in almost 50 years, a former minister has been convicted after pleading guilty to bribery charges. Subramanian Iswaran had faced 35 charges and now a possible jail sentence. Let's go to the Supreme Court in Singapore and speak to our reporter Suranjana Tiwari. Just tell us a little bit of the background to this, Suranjana. It's a fascinating case.
Yeah, Subramanian Iswaran just left the Supreme Court behind me. His trial was actually taking place in the High Court, which is in the same building. He walked into the court to face trial with 35 charges against his name, which included taking gifts as he was a public servant, also for corruption and obstructing justice. But after entering the trial, the prosecutors actually reduced those charges. He now only faces 5 charges, and they dropped the corruption charge, so it's just taking gifts as a public servant and obstruction to justice. He pled guilty and the judge convicted him of all 5. But after many deliberations, the judge said that they need more time to decide what his sentence would be, and the court case has been adjourned until October the 3rd. Iswaran held many portfolios in the Singapore government, most recently the transport minister, and he was famed for bringing the Grand Prix race to Singapore, and many of the allegations relate to that event. He is accused of taking gifts while in public service of more than $300,000 which include flights, hotel stays, and musical tickets and Grand Prix tickets.
It's become a very high-profile case there, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the most high profile. In fact, the last political corruption trial was in 1975. So there's really very little precedent regarding these types of allegations. Mr. Iswaran initially denied all wrongdoing, but he did plead guilty in the trial today. And this has really rattled Singapore because public servants are paid an awful lot of money. Some of them earn more than $700,000 a year, and lawmakers justify those handsome salaries, saying that they deter corruption. So there's been a lot of attention on this case, especially given that Singapore lawmakers put themselves at a much higher standard when it comes to things like corruption and bribes while in public service.
Suranjana, thank you very much, Suranjana Tiwari in Singapore.